With a few rare exceptions, it's against the law in this country for children under the age of 12 to work in major agricultural operations. But an ABC News investigation found it's a law that is widely ignored and poorly enforced, especially in America's blueberry fields.
Mark, is set, go! Happy Blueberry Festival!
At harvest time in this country, blueberry festivals celebrate all things blueberry.
Blueberry. I love blueberries.
Blueberries are 100% American.
And I like blueberries and ice cream.
And children are a big part of it.
Our 2009 Little Miss Blueberry is Miss Lemon Richie.
In the actual blueberry fields, however, far from the fairgrounds, an ABC News investigation found children often play a much different role at harvest time. This 5-year-old girl, Suli, helped lug buckets of berries picked by her parents and her brothers, Picho, who was 8 years old, and Cristobal, who told us he was 7.
Americans think of child labor as a problem elsewhere, but in fact we have that problem in our own backyard.
We conducted our investigation of child labor practices in American fields with the help of 4 graduate students on a fellowship with the Carnegie Corporation.
So what it really comes down to is small fingers, picking the smaller fruits and vegetables.
Migrant families, usually paid by the bucket, barely get by as they harvest America's food, and the little hands of the blueberry children can mean a few extra dollars.
How long have you been doing this?
This is my 3rd year.
Your 3rd year? How old are you?
11.
We found this child and others working in one of the biggest blueberry operations in Michigan, a supplier to Walmart. The owner, Randy Atkin, says he would fire anyone who allowed children to work in his fields. But he refused to answer our questions about the 5, 7, 8, and 11-year-olds we found in his blueberry fields, a flagrant violation of law.
So we'd just like to ask you some questions about some of the underage labor on your farms. Do you have any comment?
Human rights groups say the problem exists in fruit and vegetable fields all across the country.
Kids have died from heat stroke, from tractors, from other injuries.
And health workers say there is repeated exposure to chemicals used as crop pesticides. This 8-year-old boy, Edgar, seemed wise beyond his years about the danger of the chemicals sprayed in the Michigan cherry fields.
You see this white on the cherry? That means that they were been sprayed and that's how they grew.
And you see that?
What do they spray with?
They spray with some kind of
and you see right here, like
poison stuff, so that way, like, some animals cannot eat it while they're doing that. And every person should back off, like, well, if they're done over here, and the tractor's coming from here, and the kids right there, they could poison themselves because it's too dangerous for them, or sometimes they could go to the hospital, sometimes they could die.
Health experts say the actual danger is more long-term, but still very real. The new Secretary of Labor, Hilda Solis, has promised to crack down on all this. And this summer, blueberry growers in North Carolina, New Jersey, Arkansas, and Michigan were charged with violating labor laws, including the Michigan grower we saw, Randy Atkin, where we found so many blueberry children hard at work. Walmart, which had been buying Atkin's berries, has now suspended its purchase of his berries while it investigates what we found on his farms.
Walmart is suspending it.
They will not condone that, they say, absolutely.
And apart from the illegality for the children, what are they being paid for those buckets they're hauling?
It's by the piece, which encourages this kind of child labor. If it was a minimum wage, children would be inefficient. They wouldn't use them. But when
it's
they pay
a few dollars?
Exactly right.
Brian will have more on this investigation tonight on World News and on Nightline, and read more about it on The Blotter at abcnews.com.